Well, hey there. Welcome back for this next video in this series. Whether you are watching on YouTube or you are watching the Client Communication Masterclass series, I'm so glad that you are joining us. Here's the reality: most of us don't lose clients because of a poor pitch. We don't lose clients because of how our product is performing. We lose clients because we've lost trust. And typically, we lose clients because we speak at them. We speak at them. We don't speak with them. And the reality is all of those things, a great product pitch, great product, how that performs, those are all amazing things. And we have to make sure that we're with organizations that have those incredible items for us to be able to sell. But the reality at the end of the day is your client communication is going to build you trust or it's going to deplete it. And here's the reality: you cannot take your client communication for granted. Many of us, we take our communication for granted, myself included. All I do is study communication, and I still take it for granted. We take it for granted because we do it so much. Most studies show that we do it about 90% of our day. And so often we think it's just the words that come out of our mouth. The research shows that in conversations, that's only 7%. 7% are words. 38% is the tone at which we say things. 55% is our body language. And then we communicate through email and text message and Slack and videos and LinkedIn. I mean, it's just amazing all of the different ways that we communicate. And so the reality is in this module, I want to do the best I can to challenge you to identify those unhealthy behaviors. And so there's a couple of different things that you're going to be able to need to grab, and we'll go over those in a second. But I want to take you back in time. Years ago, I traveled to China with my wife. We adopted a little boy from China, and they say everything's bigger in Texas. Everything is really bigger in China. Like it was crazy. Walmart was 10 stories tall. We were on an elevated highway for 30 minutes. 30 minutes. I mean, it was unreal. It was crazy. And China has a wall. Maybe you've heard of it, right? The Great Wall of China. And it's 13,000 miles long, like 13,121. I mean, it's just massive. Parts of it are 30 feet apart. Uh, it's 2,000 years old. It was man-made, like man-made. They did not, bring in tractors to do this thing. You can see it from space. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And you may think that your poor communication, your average communication, you may think that when you speak at your clients, it really doesn't do anything. Here's what it does: it builds a wall between you and your client. And the wall is bigger than the Great Wall of China. I don't, I'm not trying to over exaggerate that, but communication is so powerful. It's a tool to be used with the most amount of respect that we possibly can have. And so when you cut someone off, when you interrupt, when you take it for granted how powerful your words are, you build a wall between them. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go through the 10 unhealthy client communication behaviors. And if you're in the playbook, this is in the first chapter. If you are in the module in the Client Communication Masterclass series, you can download the PDF from below. If you're watching on YouTube, there is a free download of this on the Speak with People website. And the link is in the comment of this YouTube video. So let's go through it. And here's the reality: just kind of keep an open mind. Keep an open mind as we go through this. The 10 unhealthy client communication behaviors. Are you speaking at your clients? These are the behaviors that silently kill trust, block referrals, leave clients feeling unseen and undeserved. Whether you're unintentionally rushing, relying on the same scripts, simply forgetting to laugh, each one chips away, builds a wall. So use this as a mirror. Be honest. Okay. So the first one, you ask transactional or boring questions. We've all been there. We just go to this default style checklist, and maybe they're just more compliance driven, or we don't take time to understand the story. And so you just stay at the surface. How's your day? How much do you want to save? Why does that number matter to you? You gather data, not dreams. And so maybe an example of that is you ask a new client about their retirement income, but you never explore what their dream is. You never go into, you never ask those questions. And so that's the first one. Number two, you dominate the conversation. Come on, be honest. How many of you do this? You talk more than you listen, often interrupt, you redirect, you assume that you know what's coming. And so you just jump right in. You're just so eager to share. And I get it. You have all this product knowledge, you have all this wealth knowledge, but you forget to listen. And clients feel unheard and unimportant. Maybe an example of that is a client mentions anxiety about the market. You just jump in and you just start to insist that you understand what they're going through. Okay, number three, you use the same script for every client. Same script, every client. Like you never adapt. You don't approach it with different personalities or different generations, different communication styles. You just dump it right on them. You treat a retired company the same way you treat a 32-year-old. And so maybe an example of this is you walk, the client through the same deck, the same slide deck, same agenda, regardless of who they are. We've all been there. Number four, you rush the relationship. You're always in a hurry. You treat those meetings like to-do list items, trust building moments. You just race out from one, you race out to another. And so maybe your tone, pace, and presence it just says, let's get this over with. Instead of it should say, I'm honored to serve you. And so maybe an example of that is you check your watch or your phone notifications and your client notices. Okay, number five, you ignore the emotional cues. You focus just on the numbers or the wealth or the jargon, but you overlook what really matters. And so you skipped past or you downplay maybe the grief they're going through or the fear or the excitement or the goals. And so maybe an example of this is a client just lost a parent. And instead of pausing and expressing empathy, you go right to estate strategies. You miss the moment. Six, you speak in jargon and acronyms. Your language is technical, but it's confusing. It assumes that the clients know more than they do. And most often they don't. You use overused terms like alpha or RMD or volatile exposure without explanations. They nod, but they have no idea what you're talking about. And so an example of that is maybe you explain something using dense terminology and you keep asking, does that make sense? And they nod, but you can see in their eyes they don't understand it. And then number seven, you forget or disregard their stories. You treat clients like trivia, not the keys to connection. And so you haven't even dove into their story. We're going to talk in a later chapter about becoming a story catcher and how important it is. And so you don't remember the last time they shared or anything they shared. And maybe a client told you about a 25th anniversary trip, and in the next meeting, you don't even ask about it. And the silence speaks volumes. Okay, a couple more. Eight, you wait to communicate. You only reach out when something's wrong or when you need something or you want to pitch the next product. Silence between the meetings become the norm. And so maybe you go 3 months without any type of personal outreach. And then there's an out of the blue email. A nine, you use negative, controlling, or sharp language. And some of us have fallen into this bad habit because we've been taught how to sell. Like we see some of the Wolf of Wall Street selling tactics, and we want to use all of those salesy tactics. Well, the reality is, sometimes our tone is overly blunt or sarcastic or fear based, and instead of motivating, it manipulates. And so maybe an example is you say, if you don't make this change, you'll run out of money, instead of calmly explaining the long term impact. And then 10, you're all business. There's no warmth. You forget that trust is emotional. You come across as cold, robotic, overly formal. You never laugh, don't show joy. You treat these client meetings like stale ballroom sessions. And so you never ask about their kids or hobbies or milestones. You don't check in with them and you don't look for those different opportunities. And those are the things that we absolutely have to do. Those are the moments that are of the utmost importance. And so we have to be able to do that. And so those are the things that are so important. So, how did you do? How did you do with this 10? Because I know when I go through them, it's a gut check, right? It's a gut check. And it would be one thing just to walk through it, right? It'd be one thing just to walk through it and then just pick the ones that I think. But more often than not, we don't really pick that kind of stuff for us, right? We kind of skim the top. And I guarantee if you went and talked to your spouse or your partner or your boss or a 10-year plus client, they could probably pick a few for you. And so that's why we put together the with or at assessment. Remember, we built this whole playbook on the idea that you can build trust with your clients when you speak with them, with them. And when you speak with them, your communication goes from average to exceptional and you build trust. And so, in order to do that, what we want to be able to do then is I want to really challenge you to take the time to complete the speak with or at your client self assessment. This is a big one. And so you'll go through this assessment, you'll rate each question. One is almost always true, two is often true, three is sometimes true, four is rarely true, five is never true. Okay. It's a 250 points is the possibility. You got to be honest. This is a tool. This is designed to bring you clarity, not shame. So what I would love for you to do at this point is to, in a second, press pause. And if you just have the PDF version and you still haven't printed it out, print this out. If you're watching on YouTube, go to the link and you can download it for free. Um, if you're in the module of the Client Communication Masterclass series, it's down below. Or if you have printed out the playbook or if you bought the playbook, it's right in front of you. Just take some time and do this right now. You're going to go through all these questions, and there's a good amount of questions, but it's going to take a few minutes because we want you to be able to be honest about where you're at. And so it's crazy powerful. It's crazy powerful. And so here's the reality. Okay. You need to take the time to be able to do that. So let's do it right now. Push pause and then come back and we'll be ready to go. All right. You went through it. You got your score. You have your different idea. It is so incredibly important. And I know that probably there's some you're shaking your head at. I know there's some you probably answered, more positively than you should have. Some of you gave yourself a little more grace. Some of you just like probably went right at it and hit yourself hard. But the reality is if you're doing this by yourself or with a team, it's just so important to be able to dive into it. Now, the next part of this section is talking about the ditch exercise and how you need to ditch the bad habits. Okay. You need to ditch them. Now, when I was a kid, our neighborhood had ditches all over the place and we rode our BMX bikes. We used to ride to the ditch. And if you went to the ditch just right, you could hit it and then you would hit like a massive wheelie and you could, get some air. And this is what we want you to be able to do. Like we want you to be able to use this exercise as the momentum to move forward and improve your client communication. Now, here's the reason you want to ditch because you want to get rid of the dismissive stuff. You want to get rid of the inattentive stuff, the transactional, the controlling, and the hurried. And on your own, you can go through that information on the PDF. And again, if you're in the Client Communication Masterclass a series dashboard, you can print that out. If you have the playbook in front of you, you can print it out. If you're in the YouTube, it's a free download. The link is in the comments, but go through each of those and really think through. And now you're going to go through this exercise and you're going to have to use the with or at assessment, but you give yourself a score and then you got to do some self evaluation, what you notice about yourself under each of these. And, this is just meant to help you start to think through what's it costing me. And so ask these questions then, answer these questions. And then lastly, go through this chart and even, highlight this, get a post-it note and put it on the page so you can come back to this chart because it is of incredible importance. I mean, look at this. If you are dismissive with your words, you got to practice affirmation. And so you can try this in a meeting. I appreciate what you shared last time. This chart will save you. It will push you forward in your growth with your clients. And that's the powerful thing. And so use this chart in a powerful way to be able to say to your clients, "Hey, I am here with you and I'm excited for what's going to happen. I'm excited. I want to improve and I want to be able to help it." Now, here's the reality. We all need help with some of these areas. And so it'd be really easy just to fast forward through this chapter and get to the good stuff because we're going into some chapters and some modules where we're going to be learning the right words to say. We're going to be learning how to, win with the different generations. All of that amazing stuff with our client communication. But this is the foundation. And I can't emphasize it enough. So if you have not done that with or at assessment yet, as soon as this video is done, go through it, work it out, get a good read on it. Then go do that ditch exercise. You got to do one and then the other. And then practice some of those. If you come up as an interrupter, go to that ditch exercise, to that chart at the end, and show what you should replace the different things with. It's just incredibly powerful when you do that. And then I also want to remind you that you can sign up for Insights. This is our brand new newsletter from Speak with People. It's our client growth and referral report. And this is an opportunity for you to every single month, twice a month, you'll get an email from me and Speak with People with an insider's look. Like, think about these things with your clients. Here's the latest research. Here's the data. Here's some ways to get ahead with your referrals. And it's just really awesome to be able to do that. And so the link's down below. You can sign up for that. It's just absolutely incredible. Or at any time, you go to speakwithpeople.com/store. All the products are there. And so I can't thank you enough for going through this. Again, you have my email, jason@speakwithpeople.com. You even have my phone number. You even have my LinkedIn. I hope by now we are connected. If we're not connected, come on, find me on LinkedIn, scan the QR code, do everything you got to do, but let's get connected. All right. I'm here for your success. Can't wait to hear how it's going. We will see you in the next video, and I can't wait to hear how it's going.